You could have nothing. If you got his spirit, you got it all. Take everything I own. If I got eternal life, what have I really lost? Hey, they say he's knocking at the door. Is that Messiah? I left it open. Yeah, my savior, my shepherd. I follow you wherever. I'm with you, where we going? To the kingdom, you can have it all. But without you, I'm nothing. Nothing. Fortune and fame, the pride of life, it's all vain. It's all vain. Nothing could change my mind. Nothing. I'm fully convinced, and now it all makes sense. Without you, I'm incomplete. A glass made of diamonds, the glass is empty. A man walked past and bumped it accidentally. It hit the ground and turned to dust, what is it worth? Don't let them break your spirit. The Father put this passion in me. Cleanse me with your living water, this rag is filthy. Storms come and go, they gotta pass eventually. Watch the sun shine on that seed you sowing. Embrace it, the water's needed to keep you growing. The Father working in our favor, we don't even know it. But your enemies know it, the demons see you glowing. Keep my grass cut real low, so if you a snake and try to hide it, it's gon' still show. This what we built for. Without the Father, we incomplete. Yes. Every treasure you can think of, can it give you peace? Is that a gold chain or a mental leash? Meant to weigh you down from the heights you was meant to reach. You could have it all in times. But without you, I'm nothing. Fortune and fame, the pride of life, it's all vain. It's all vain. Nothing could change my mind. I'm fully convinced, and now it all makes sense. Without you, I'm incomplete. Hey, there's beauty in a broken vessel. Yeah. Exterior flawed, but your soul is special. Yeah. Some doors he left closed for your own protection. Some doors he opened wide, though they don't respect you. Cause you lack worldly possessions and earthly obsessions. His grace and his mercy is precious. Your treasure's in heaven, he'll return the investment. He keep blessing us, though we not worthy of blessings. Looked in the mirror and learned me a lesson. The flesh is my biggest threat, the heart is deceitfully wicked. He's at the door, don't be asleep when he visit. Encourage your neighbor, seek him each minute. Thoughts of a king, he said, one day I'ma leave this mortal body. And when I do, it won't be a need for these riches. True. The Father been feeding me wisdom. I find peace in these scriptures. I read them and see them as pictures, and I'm in awe. Hey, but without you, I'm nothing. It's nothing. Fortune and fame, the pride of life, it's all vain. It's all vain. Nothing could change my mind. I'm fully convinced, and now it all makes sense. Without you, I'm incomplete. Yeah. Vid Part 20. I wanna thank all of y'all for supporting. Rest in peace, Jackie White, William Hawker. If my mother and father could see this. It's crazy.
I'm been trying in the fire, and I'm just saying, like, I lost everything. Without that, I feel like, you know, I don't know where I'll be. You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you mean. I've been going through it, and every day I try to find a temporary healing from it, and I end up grabbing this cup, and I just don't think the true healing comes from this cup.
if it ain't in the cup, then where is it?
You know he testing y'all.
He testing?
Being tested? Like tried?
Like tried in the fire?
The Holy Spirit.
And when he has tried me,
Holy Spirit.
I shall come forth as pure gold. Have you been tried in the fire? Have you been tried in the fire? Have you been tried? Have you been tried in the fire? In the fire.
All praise to the Most High, man. Kwame Yasharon, let's go. Gold is
refined in the fire of affliction. Turn from desires that admire your addictions. If you cannot stand the flame, I don't know why you're in the kitchen. The Messiah went through pain so you and I will be forgiven. Young in the flesh, but in the spirit, I'm an old guy. Crucified the body, choose to die and let your soul climb. I hope you know your path because I chose mine. Straight and narrow, purified, watch me shine like a gold mine. Praise the Most High, raise your hands, because one day He's gonna save us from the stranger's land. He won't hate us or forsake us, that's why He gave the lamb, which is symbolic, just like with Isaac and Abraham. Babylon is falling. I'm laughing cause the wicked rulers passing like a spoiling. That's the basketball, I had to find my calling and put it into action till my back is in a coffin. I pray you listen to the words that I've spoken. The God of Israel has awoken His chosen. I felt the Holy Spirit soak into my soul. Then my father asked, son, are you mine? And I told him, and I will never turn away from you. Look at all the tribulation that you helped me make it through. This walk is not debatable, so talk a lot. You're either in this thing or you're kindling. Got enemies with Satan too.
In the fire. Have you been tried in the fire? Have you been tried? Have you been tried in the fire? In the fire.
Tried in the fire, may y'all restore you and save a lot. Heard the Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all save a lot. Hell is hot, you cold thinking it isn't either. Till you get freezer burned, seeing like Planet Vegeta. Treat us like they don't need us and tricking for Halloween. Christ man just as bad as COVID-19. They claim we in the coat like they don't know it's snow. Tried in the fire, we knew Jerusalem streets are gold cold. Goalies ain't gon' block the prophets on the block. Ever since the rock of salvation, cocaine profit drop. Hooked on yacht, not drug to the kingdom. Wanna take us out of the book like the apocryphal confidentials, like popping up, paid out for album popping up. Pop me in position, notorious proof popping. I'm mopping the floor with them. Street sweeping, no janitor. Cleanse the world from poison, y'all absorb it, be the antidote. I'm a lion, they been lying thin, hacking like a lion thin. Till they lying thin on they last win, won't be lying thin. Some be acting like they got a heaven and hell to put you in. I can put you in, but I can form you on them requirements. Rehearsing the right, so act right from the book of Acts. Knowing us to the hill of Zion, brothers and sisters act rejoice for the covenant of Abraham. The fulfillment of that, to the point we don't need to teach law, statutes, and commandments.
In the fire. Have you been tried in the fire? Have you been tried? Have you been tried in the fire? In the fire. But tell me, have you been tried? Have you been tried?
All right. Shalom. How am I sounding? Now, can you hear me?
You sounding good. Doc.
You doing good? We're going to need everybody, all 12, 13 people that are here with us right now to bring this podcast the night before the Most High. Because before we got started, man, it looked like it was going to be a long night.
It was a slug fest in here, boy. We were swinging, calling each other. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear
know,
you.
right?
Man, it was, yeah.
But hey, right when it started, exactly. So we want to give all praises to the Most High for that. Before we get started, I got a few announcements that I do want to make. The Light Hebrew magazine, the new edition is out. I got to get mine. I haven't gotten mine yet. We want to say the water and shalom to Sister Delta. Not sure if you're here with us tonight right now, but we do want to say the water and shalom to you as well. I saw the House of Mono in the house as well. I want to say shalom to them and shalom to the best YouTube podcast family and all the YouTube and podcastism, if that is a word. I just made it one. Exactly. It's a word now. I want to say thank y'all for joining us. For those now, and now listen to the words that are about to come out my mouth. I do not push my doctrine on no man. I respect every man and how they worship, but for those who observe Luna, the time of Enoch, the 17th was our new moon. We are embarking on the first Shabbat of the 6th month. And for those who are with me who follow that there, I want to say Shabbat Shalom to you as well. Tomorrow will be the first Shabbat of the 6th month. We're headed into the 7th month, the month of Tabernacles. So, hey, you know, I just, and again, listen to what I'm saying, okay?
Right.
I do not embark my beliefs on anyone. For those who keep the 7-day Sabbath Saturday, hey, I love you just as much. Trust and believe. And if I came to your house on Saturday, guess what? I'm keeping in the Shabbat with you. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't arguing with no Hebrews over no doctrine at all.
At all.
I said it.
There
it is. Couple of new podcasts that I seen. Well, one that I seen that popped up last night. I want to give a shout out to. I want people to go check it out. This is coming out of the House of Monologue as well. I think it was called Talk About It Tuesday. It was Monologue and Pastor Dowell, I believe that it was. I caught the what was his name?
Pastor Kendall.
Pastor Kendall. Oh, okay then. My bad. Okay, Pastor Kendall. I caught the end of it last night, and I do plan on catching the entire thing as well. I got a text message today from Mr. Ayo Ben Yahoo. I'm hoping I'm not stepping out of line, brother. If I am, beat me up after the show. But I believe that his entire family will be.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let us know what's going on.
Yeah, we Friday we're going to be sitting down with DJ Jay Bridges on his podcast, man. Now I do believe he did let me know today. It is a pre-recorded show, so we're going to sit down with him Friday, and then it will be available sometime next week. But yes, the whole house of Ayo, me, my wife, my daughters, we're going to be sitting down and chopping it up with my man, Dr. DJ Jay Bridges on Friday. Yes. And then it'll be recorded and I'll let y'all know, but it should be out next week. It's going to be one, you can't miss. We always together, me and my family always together, not necessarily in interviews, but this time we going to be all together in interviews. So,
already. Can't wait for that. And please support and keep an ear to the ground so you will know when that episode is going to be aired. There's another podcast, the House of Mono is busy, man. Why Boaz don't want your ass? Y'all check that thing out. Check it out. Another pod, and I'm just giving you podcasts that I watch, okay, and that I support, and I'm what you say, word of mouth, Inside the Nation. I don't know that brother from a can of paint, but what I tell you is that you get great information on that podcast. So if you ever got a chance to check out Inside the Nation, check out Inside the Nation. With that being said, I think I'm done. Mr. Ayo Ben Yahoo, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, blessed, highly favored in the building to bring y'all a great show, man. All praise to the Most High. It's been a good week, busy week. Wrapping up Wonderland, getting some things together. So, man, it's been an awesome week for me and the family. How about yourself, bro? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing great, man. The Most High has been good. He has been blessing us. Ain't nobody starving in my house. Ain't nobody, well, it don't rain in Texas anyway, but if it did rain, wouldn't no rain be falling on nobody's head because we got a roof over our head, so, what is there to complain about, right? Hey, I feel little aches in my back, which is a good thing because I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? Just so, hey, I had to get up a while ago to get the glasses. I said, man, I can't see. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we doing all that to be said, man, brother, we doing good. I am glad to be here. Another Wednesday night. As long as we've been doing Wednesdays, my mind keep wanting to say Thursdays.
Man,
I did it on Thursdays for so long, so yeah, but other than that, I am really glad to be here, glad to have you here as well. Oxafy told me to send love to everybody here as well. Let you know that he is not forgotten. We love you, brother. I don't know if you watching, tonight with us. If so, you know what I'm saying. Let it be known that we love you, brother.
Absolutely.
And but yeah, let's get to business, man. Before we get to the beyond critical race theory, a 23-year-old basketball player, Reggie Chaney. Have you ever heard of him?
I've heard the name. Not too familiar with the story. I think you was telling me about this the other day.
Yeah, he is a former University of Houston basketball player. He was part of that Final Four team. I think they went, I believe it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they went last year.
Right?
He just passed away. 23 years old, man. 23 years old, just passed away. At some point, we talk about this all the time, Ayob, on this show. Hate to keep beating a dead horse, but at some point, somebody is going to have to answer to this.
Yep. Somebody's going to have to answer. Somebody's got to. Yeah. So at some point, like you said, at some point, somebody's got to answer. And from what I understand, just how me and your news feed go. You hit me with that. Our news feed on our phones, man, be going crazy. As soon as you hit me with that news, now they're talking about Sleepy Joe may be trying to get mask mandates and another variant. So, yeah, I think at some point you're alluding to, that's going to come soon, because if there is another wave, which we're protected from, all praise to the Most High, but if there is another wave and this shutdowns or whatever again, somebody is going to have to stand up and say, okay, we messed up the first time. These ooh-wees they wasn't no good. They messed the folk up. So we got to do something else. So, the Most High will allow these things to happen so we can get clarity. And who's to say, like I just said, you just mentioned, at some point, somebody's got to answer. And that at some point, the Most High could allow another wave. So somebody will have to answer.
Well, with that wave, man, sometimes I make myself mad with the way that I think, but I can't help it, right? With that wave, will that wave be real, or will that will that wave be fabricated? You dig what I'm saying? Because exactly. I'm still not 100% convinced that the first wave was everything that they said it was. It was just a setup to get people to get the ooh-wee. And so, and one of the reasons why they are taking so long with talking on it is because it's doing what it was created to do. Think about this. This is something that I thought about. I'm going to run this by you. I was walking through the set of apartments that I was working in the other day, and I was looking at the trees, and beautiful trees, and they was giving good shade. And I said to myself, man, these trees are beautiful. Then I got to thinking, man, these trees grow big and strong from us people, because we feed them carbon monoxide. And in return, they take the carbon and they give us back oxygen. And so I got to thinking about the lies that they tell the world about global warming, and they say that the earth is getting too hot because of the carbon is too high. We got to bring the carbons down to zero. And as I was thinking about that, I believe it was the Ruach. I mean, I can only say that it was the Ruach that made me understand that, bro, they telling us in our face in code that it's too many people in the earth. You saying that you got to bring the carbons down to zero? Where's the carbon coming from? Every time we exhale, we putting carbon back out into the earth.
Right. But the trees receive it to give us back oxygen.
It's a circle. Exactly. So they saying that we got to bring the carbon down. Really what you saying is that we need a culling.
Right. You want an excuse to do something.
That's exactly what it was. That's what it was, right? And so at this particular time, they being real quiet on talking about it, right? Because it's doing what it. This is how wicked they are. We seeing all of the deaths that's happening. The young people, right? We ain't talking about the older people, even though I believe that a lot of them is dying from it as well, right? But they got they got age on their side, right?
Right.
We talking about the younger athletes, right? We seeing all of this happening, and even the young actors and actresses that's dying in Hollywood, because a lot of them is dying as well. Don't you know that they're still? I just came across the article, and I'm sure you probably came across it too, where they telling mothers to get the ooh wee because it'll give the baby protection as well.
Yes, I can. Yes,
Out
I
all of these deaths that's happening, they're still promoting.
still promoting it, and it's crazy, man. That's why we have to gird up, stand fast, and not be soon shaken in mind and body. That's what the word says, because it's going. It's I mean, it's getting there. I mean, look what's going on all around you. It's getting there. And I also wanted to add real quick before we move on. Uh, this whole global warming thing, man. What I don't, and I'm gonna show my age here, and I don't mind. I'm 45 years old. In the mid to late 80s and early 90s through the 90s, you don't hear about it no more. It's coded as another word, global warming. But what did we hear about every day on the news and everywhere, newspapers? The ozone layer.
The
Y'all
ozone
remember
layer.
that? That's all we heard was the ozone layer. The ozone layer is a hole, and all these disinfectants and hairsprays we got is, and it's like, wait a minute, how is that affecting the ozone layer when it ain't like millions of people across the world use the hairspray and stuff outside. It's more inside the house where it's evaporated before it even hit the outside anyway. So now here it is, once again, through the mid to late 80s when I was young, going into teenager, ozone layer, ozone layer. Then in the 2000s, it went away. Now all of a sudden, it's past what, 8 to 10 years, global warming, global warming, global warming. So it just seems like different pockets and periods of eras and decades and times. We talk about it on this show all the time. Fear is a business, and they want to keep something in your face to, like Shir just mentioned, to keep poking and prying to have something to do. And I honestly think this so-called next wave, the first debate, the first Republican debate is tonight. You
Right.
got the elections, the campaigns is starting to kick up. They got to have some talking points. Look what you didn't do. Look what we have done. We got the ooh-wees out in a certain amount of time, and it's just talking points. Like Shir said, it could be, fabricated just to get these election campaigns kicked off. And here we go again. You'll have folks like us not even worry about it. We in Goshen. We gonna be concerned with what the Most High say. But then you'll have the rest of the world scared, lockdowns, worried about this. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that, man.
Nah, you are absolutely right. I have the history too on how the whole notion of global warming came about. I'm not going to promise. Shout out to Nasaya TV. Thank you, brother. Thank you again. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to take part of your platform. And yes, and thank you for joining us tonight as well. I can't promise that we'll get around to talking about it because there's so much to be happening. But if we ever get a point to where we can slow down a little bit, we're gonna talk about how this global warming fiasco even came about. One thing that I want my show to remember, the people that watch our show, one thing I want you guys to remember, that everything is about commerce. Everything is about making money. Everything is about making money. And that's what the global warming thing is about as well. It's about making money and controlling the people. The bottom line, the two things that they want to do is they want to tax you so that they can do more research for it. And the second thing is that if you remember, and we're going to move on from this, sir, after this, sir, but if you remember when Bill Gates made the comment that he noticed that the carbon levels decreased significantly in 2021 during the lockdown. And so understand what he was saying, that there may even be a global warming lockdown, if not for virus lockdown. Why? Because Bill Gates, who got nothing to do with science and nothing like that, he says that we got to bring the carbon levels down to zero. And so we got to do that. And while he's still flying around on his private jet, ain't nobody said nothing about that. right? But we got to bring it down. So it's all about control and it's all about revenue. So please remember that. I think we done spent enough time in the intro. I did have one more thing to talk about, but we got a beyond critical race theory that we got to get to, man. Yeah, this one here is a doozy. So I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna let my man Ayo Ben Yahoo give us this beyond critical race theory. What we got, brother?
Man,
I don't know if you know or not. I did put it in there. Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that. Appreciate that, man. I wanted
Yes, sir.
we want to share with you guys tonight Beyond Critical Race Theory. And everybody knows the segment that we start the show off with. First segment is, Beyond Critical Race Theory, which is critical race facts. And we go beyond that, what we do not and have not, and what they will not teach us in the school system. We try to bring you the accounts and the stories here so that we all learn, because especially on tonight, I have never heard of this. And as you can see the title scrolling, The Ghost of Sugarland, Texas. Heard of the city, the little small town, Sugarland? Never. I did not know this. We're going to get into Luke 12, 1 through 4 here in just a second, prefacing this whole segment right here. But before we do that, let's get into what it's going to be about.
Town in Texas called Sugarland. There was some land that was owned by the Fort Bend, Texas School District. Before it was owned by the school district, it was the Texas Central State Prison. But before it was that, it was called Imperial Farm, work farm for convict laborers. But before it was that, it was a sugar plantation. All of the labor was provided by slave labor. Sugarcane harvesting and milling is backbreaking and dangerous work. But after the Civil War, the slaves were freed. The Southern elites needed a way to get free labor, and they invented a system called convict leasing. It was a system where the state would arrest somebody, usually a black man. Instead of housing them at the penitentiary, they'd send them to these prison farms. People did not last very long. Many of them died within days, weeks, or months of actually arriving there. So fast forward into the mid-2000s, and they were breaking ground for this new school building in Sugarland, and lo and behold, one of the guys saw a bone sticking up out of the ground. They found a mass grave with 95 sets of remains, and it turned out that these people had been imprisoned at the Imperial Farm. They called it the Imperial Farm because it was owned by the Imperial Sugar Company, which is still in existence and is now $1 billion public company. And that's how I became interested and wrote the song The Ghosts of Sugarland.
But you can't silence the ghost of Sugarland.
Wow, y'all peeped that. Crazy, man. So once again, I had never heard of that. Sure sent me that video, and I was like, we got to talk about this. Imperial Sugar, we talk about it all the time. We've done a show on it before. Convict leasing, putting our felons into these camps, these prison camps, just to make, license plates tag that the state would normally have to pay someone $30 an hour. Now it's 2 cents a day that these convicts can make these tags and so on. So once again, first of all, before we get into this article, let's go to Luke chapter 12, 1 through 4. Because, like I said, the video you just seen, that, as you can see, that wasn't one of us talking. As Daniel 12 talks about, some will wake up to everlasting life and some to everlasting contempt, right? So as the whole world is waking up to whatever their foundation is, and we all praise to the Most High that we woke up to the foundation of His marvelous light. All praise for that. Others are not waking up to His light. They're waking up to whatever they believe in, whatever their DNA is encoded in before they came here. So once again, some to everlasting life, some to everlasting contempt. And it seems like this guy and the podcast we're going to talk about here in a minute for this article after we read, they're waking up and uncovering this stuff that's not taught in school. So let's go to Luke 12. Like I said, I thought I could have did it on my phone, but like I said, I like to flip through the pages to make me feel smart. Make me feel smart, man. Flip it through the pages. So, all right, there we go. All right, Luke 12, 1 through 4. In the meantime, there were, and I'm reading from the Sefer. In the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, so much so that they trod upon one another, he began to say to his Talmudim, the disciples, first of all, beware of the leaven of the Parashim or the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Now, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that can kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. So I wanted to read that uh, because that verse came to mind when I was going through this article and looking at that video and just thinking about every beyond critical race theory that we've done. How much is this? How much is this covered up? We don't have the photo albums and the books that these family have. That evidently this young man right here and these two young ladies we're about to talk about that lives in Texas. You're going to read the article. They was like, man, we live in Texas. I had no idea, but a lot of people do. A lot of people have grandpa and grandma showing them photos of what they did to us, showing them stuff that they've done. And it's in a photo album in a house in Texas, but all of a sudden, these things are bubbling up. Mashiach said, what's been done in the dark is going to come to the light. And people are starting to find out. And I'm thankful that Shir sent this. And I think his wife, shouts to Banaf Shah Ahaya. She sent him this and was like, y'all gotta look at this. And I'm thankful. So let's get into it. This article is from the Texas Standard, okay, which is a newspaper or a publication and a website in Texas that does a lot of history uncovering. And it says new podcast unearthed dark history underpinning Sugarland's sweet image. You heard him in the video. You know, Sugarland is from Imperial Sugar, and I believe I checked. Imperial Sugar was erected or started in 1853. And you know where we were.
1853.
1853, and you know where we were in 1853. So, and I tell my children all the time, I tell my family, when you ride around, when we're going, you're going to different towns, different states, traveling to minister, and even in your own towns in Charlotte and in South Carolina, look at these businesses. All these businesses have established in 1920, 1840. And I think about where we were when these businesses were established and what money was used to start these businesses, right? Think about this. So, it says new podcast unearths dark history underpinning
Here's the
Sugarland
Texas
Sweet
Standard.
Image.
I'm David Brown. Back in
In
My bad,
2018,
Doc.
oh, you good? Are you good? In 2018, construction crews working on a new campus for the Fort Bend Independent School District in the city of Sugarland made a gruesome discovery. 95 unmarked graves that officials quickly determined made up an historic cemetery. It was the type of discovery that activists had been warning would turn up. You hear that? Once again, in these articles, listen to how they talk. It said activists had been warning something's down there. Y'all been building this land, these buildings on something, something's down there. We can feel it, we can sense it. Something's not right. It said Sugarland was, after all, once home to one of the largest convict labor camps in the state, and hundreds of Israelite or so-called black men who worked in such camps ended up unceremoniously buried throughout the county. The story of the discovery touched off a years-long fight. Listen to this. The story of the discovery touched off a years-long fight between officials, activists, researchers, and members of the community over what should be done with those who are buried, as well as the land itself. They were fighting over it. They didn't want this truth to come out, y'all. They were trying to once again cover it up, and they just couldn't do it. It's a story that is detailed in the new podcast, Sugarland, produced by the Texas Newsroom and premiering June 16th across all podcast platforms. Once again, we are a podcast and salute to these young ladies who started this podcast. I think it's Brittany Martin, and I forget the other young lady. Naomi Reed. They started a podcast about the great wealth of Sugar Land, and they stumbled upon this. Um, One of the young ladies said, I thought there was more to the story and that somebody really just needed to spend the time looking into it. But I didn't want to tell the story alone, especially not this story. So I was looking for somebody who could speak on the subject with more authority than I ever could. And then that's when she said she found Naomi Reed, which is an anthropology professor at Southwestern University who had done her PhD work in the same area, Sugarland 95, right? It goes on to say, she said, I think a lot of Israelite or so-called black people in Sugarland and the surrounding area were all shocked that there was any sort of black history or black or Israelite presence in Sugarland, Reed said. People who grew up in Sugarland had not heard the story. She said, I'd never heard of the story. Brittany's never heard of the story. And so Sugarland quite generally is seen as a kind of upper class, predominantly white community. And to learn that much of its foundation and success was black labor, he said it upset a lot of people. Man, y'all, this whoo. All right, let's get through with this. She said, in going with the podcast to tell the story, the co-host stressed that the story is not one of a true crime genre that often finds audiences on such of a platform. If y'all don't know what she's saying is a lot of these podcasts are like a true crime podcast and break down solving mysteries, and they talk about mysteries that just been solved with new DNA techniques. She said, but they didn't want to go there with this, right? She said it doesn't fit into any category. It's not just history. It's not just news. It's not just like a nice feature. It's really informative about how we got where we are today in terms of really race relations in Texas and within the criminal justice system. So these sisters are young.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of take a lot of things away from it. It says it's a story that also sheds light on aspects of the state's history that may sometimes be overlooked. Reed notes that much of her previous work had focused on how history was taught in a way that masks or covers up, like we just read in Luke 12, black historical injury, and that the story of Sugarland 95 and the approach by city and county officials in dealing with it serves as a good example of this practice. She said, so the way that the city is dealing with this, she said, it sort of fits in how they teach small children and high school kids in their community. See what I'm saying? They're not teaching this in the schools. And so one of the main things I think we want people to take away is that we're not telling history. We're not telling it in school. We're not telling on the news. We're not telling it in efforts to commemorate historical figures now with Sugarland 95. So yeah, she said it's a broader comment. It's about the culture of this masking of black history, especially in Sugarland. Oh yeah, man. What do you think about that? That blew my mind. And that's the article. I think the description or the link is in the description box or in the chat. You guys go check that out. It's a pretty lengthy article. You can read up on it. But what you think about that video and that article, man?
Sugarland. So Sugarland, first of all, is a suburb of Houston. Okay, it's like right here in Houston, Texas. This is what would be considered Southwest Houston. Okay, and I was telling Ayob that I've been here 6 years now. And I remember when this story broke, when it actually happened. And I remember watching it on the news. Not one time did I ever think to myself that, hey, this should be talked about for Beyond Critical Race Theory. So I do want to give a shout out to my wife because she just came back across it just last week. And I shouted to Ayob, and that's what she said. You ought to send this to Ayob for Beyond Critical Race Theory. And I looked at it and I shouted to him. And he was like, he jumped right on it. So I want to say thank you for that as well. But this is the thing, man. Out of that same chapter that you read of Daniel 12, right? That you quoted from chapter 12. I want to read something. I want to read verse 1 and 2. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up. The great prince was standing for the children of thy people. And there should be a time of trouble such as never was, since there was a nation even to the same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, and every one that shall be found written in a book, And this is the part that I want to deal with. It says, and many of them that sleep in the dust.
Come on.
Did y'all hear that?
Come on.
Many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life,
Come on.
and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
Come on, man.
Now, Sugar Land is prosperous.
Wow.
Do you hear me? Money. Like, when you get close to Sugar Land, you just begin to start smelling mint. The green. You dig what I'm saying?
Wow.
Prosperous.
Wow.
So now we see how it became so prosperous.
There you go. There you go.
Now we see how it became so prosperous. The thing with time is that people begin to die off. And as they die off, the remembrance of the past begins to fade away.
Come on.
But somewhere these things are recorded.
Yes.
Someone always has to know what happened. Which means that when these developers went to the city to say, hey, we want to build here, the city already knew it's going to be some problems.
It's going to be some problems.
But the city couldn't tell the developers, hey, you can't build there because developers do their homework before they go build. They done already had they surveyors go through there. Well, it ain't no gas lines. It ain't no electrical lines. It ain't no, you see what I'm saying? So this land here is prime for building. But somebody in the city was like,
I don't know, y'all.
I don't know, y'all. This is going to be some problems.
Some issues.
It's going to be some issues. Now, they can't tell the builders, you know what I'm saying, that you can't, because now that's going to formulate questions. Why?
And if they don't want to start asking questions, I mean to cut you off real quick, don't want to start asking questions because now you're messing up that money.
Exactly. You're messing up money and you're about to expose. You're about to expose. And that's what happened. Now, I live in Houston. Just told you Sugar Land is a suburb of Houston. When they talked about that down here, man, I tell you, it was like, they ain't spend no time on it.
Right.
They mentioned it enough to say we mentioned it.
That's it.
And they moved on.
From it.
Mentioned it enough to say they mentioned it, but they moved on. So now what do we got? We got all. I'm going to tell you what they wanted to do.
Wow.
They wanted to say, hey, let's forget that you found these bones. And let's not talk about this at all and just build what it is that you got to build.
That's it.
This is where I have a problem with some Hebrews that talk about all white people. My wife always told me, you can't put everybody in the same pot.
Right, you can't, man.
Because there was somebody white who said, we can't do that.
We can't do that, y'all. Something don't feel right. I sense something. I know something's there. Once again, they've heard them stories. They've heard when they was little, Papa done set them on their lap, showed them photo albums of us hanging in trees and so they say, up the street about 10 miles where they built that prison, they said it was some in there buried alive. For real.
See what I'm saying?
So now 20 years later, when he is a researcher and a scientist, they're like, y'all, I think this is the place my Papa was talking about. I think this is what Grandma and Uncle Jimmy and them was talking about. Something not right. And they like, nah, just build up. So they get their bulldozers, they get the knocking down stuff, start building.
That's what they did.
And in the early 2000s, somebody seen a bone sticking up. Like, wait a minute, is that a bone?
That's a whole bone.
It, whole mass grave.
Whole mass grave of black people, slaves.
Man, that's...
That they said when they got there, they did not live that long to begin with.
Right. He said,
but we still eat Imperial sugar to this day. And I ain't telling nobody to start boycotting Imperial sugar, but the next time you go and buy you some Imperial sugar, think about this right here. Think on this, man. So yeah, but the Bible tells us, because Ayob started this and he asked the question, how many places in America is like this? Well, the Bible tells us we ain't got to worry about that. Why? He said, because in that time, those who are asleep in the dust, they shall Rise. This going to get to that first song break. Yo, appreciate that, man. Great. Beyond Critical Race Theory, y'all.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yahusha the King. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yahusha the King, he the Messiah. He coming back with a sword hot like lighter. That is the word on his attire. King of the king and the master of masters. That is the shepherd, a rod of iron. Treading the wine press, a conquering lion. Hair is like wool, eyes are like fire. He bring the heat to your coat like a dryer. He will not fold, straight in a row. The way to life is a troublesome road. A street to go, it will not mold. Angels keep watch over me like patrol. Lo and behold, Israel was sold, but they redeemed with the blood on the road. Story was told, now it unfold. The righteous reign while the wicked disposed. Smoke in my nose, burning like coals. Walking the earth, shaking snakes on my shows. Superimposed, dust on my clothes. Freed us from prison, skipped over parole. Glory bestowed, sins are exposed. Carry that weight is a burdensome load. A debt was owed, y'all pay the toll. Blood of Messiah spread on my lintel. Freed us from crime, life on the line. I have a duty to let my light shine. Critical times, holding the vine. Wake up, Jacob, there's a ladder to climb. Don't eat no swine, be redesigned. Keeping the law will bring peace to your mind. Great with the wine, pass over time. Free me from chains, now my brain unconfined. Stay on the grind, straight in my spine. Yahusha kingdom is one of a kind. That's by design, we won't decline. Jacob the head, Esau get left behind. The end of time, let me remind. It's the last hour, repent or you dine. I died to crime, had to resign. New man can see, but the old man was blind. Dust off my shades, changing my ways. Give up glory to the ancient of days. Give him the praise, like serenades. Yahusha word because sharper than blades. Don't go astray, this ain't no maze. Follow the shepherd to show you the way. The Sabbath day, ain't no Sundays. They had played us like a game of arcades. I'm not afraid, Yah's my aid. Messengers fight for me like a brigade. My debt was paid, dismiss the case. Living water like a hose I was sprayed. I was remade, blessing I prayed. Cut the old man off like it was a fade. Righteous arrayed, kingdom displayed. Dresses in garments that smoother than suede. Under his wings, praise off a ring. Prodigal son return, he give a ring. To him we sing, cling to his name. Justice to righteous, the wicked to shame. We go proclaim, Yahusha reign. Sheep into rest that goes go into flame. Sins are to blame, deaf you became. Blind in your eyes, but a lie you retain. You entertain, proud you became. Called us crazy, now you feeling deranged. Tried to defame, now you ashamed. You go for pain when the throne is reclaimed. Trouble the thing, sinning is lame. Following Yahusha walk is the aim that we acclaim. Trying to explain, we've been repenting, reversing the chains. Open your blinds, done with the lies. Wicked brought lower, the righteous arise. Chasing the prize, pray that you rise. Follow the law, you have angel allies. Fight for your lives, they in the skies. Spirit will help you to see in disguise. I was baptized, then I had died. Yahusha saved me from the great demise. I was chastised, then I complied. Gold is refined in the fire inside. Don't take no bribe, blinding your eyes. Mashiach seeking a virgin for brides. Don't idolize, don't make no gods. Yahusha come, they go all be surprised. Let go your pride, he go divide. Reading the text when the kingdom arrive. Yahusha the king. Yahusha the king.
Yeah.
Praises.
Yahoo with Yahusha the King. That's a bang. I like that.
So much talent in Israel. So much talent in Israel. One thing that I didn't mention, and I just thought about it right now, man. Don't forget to grab your copy. It's hard copies out there as well. That's the magazine. That's the CD. Let the OG speak. Let the OG talk. There you go. Yeah.
I've never seen a flip issue. You flip it, you read one side about the F3 Fringed Up Family Fest, and then you flip it again. You got my man Monologue, man.
See,
and then you got the. So I got my package, man. I got the OG Talks hard.
Right.
Got the magazine, man. Shout outs to 3MG Management. Man, I got the F3 Fringe Up Family Fest shirt on. Brew News, man. Hey, get your copies, y'all.
We gotta support people. We gotta support. The more we support, the more we can have our own stuff. I mean, because it costs money to do all of this. You gotta understand, ain't none of this stuff free. To bring it to you, right? And so we gotta support. We gotta, whatever it is that you can do to help these artists, to help the magazine. And we got a lot out there. I was just talking to my wife about it. I said, Israel has a lot out there. We have enough that we can actually start building like Legos and we can start becoming more than what we are. you know, but it's going to take us to be able to do it.
Yep. And it's
So
all
yeah,
quality. It's a lot of quality.
a lot of quality.
Man, that CD, the music behind it, the packaging in this
Right,
magazine,
right,
and it's consistent.
right.
So guys, the F3 Friendship Family Fest, like that was like Cher said, it was money put behind it, and it's just not things that's just thrown together. Like it's
Exactly.
time and effort and the ruach of the Most High put into this, y'all. So like you said, come
Exactly.
on, let's support each other. These are people's lives.
That's
They are
exactly.
it's ministry. It's ministry.
Exactly. It's ministry.
Dedication to the Most
I'm gonna
High.
say this and then we're gonna move to our story.
Yeah.
When we look at how the fake Jews operate,
Man, come on, man.
there's something to be learned that could be learned from them. When we see how they operate,
Come on, y'all.
we need to that's something that we might need to, because see, even when they don't disagree, they agree in public.
Agree in public. And then they'll go behind closed doors and talk about it, but they agree. So it looks, we need to form like Voltron, y'all.
We need to form like Voltron. You dig what I'm saying? Exactly. So, hey, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I see I'm on my one life to live a lot tonight. So
I digress.
but hey, you know what I'm saying? But it's there. Is there. It is there. Let's get to it, man. Chicago alderman. Me being from the South, I had to ask my wife what an alderman was, and an alderman is an individual that represents certain districts, okay? And that's for the people who didn't know. We just got a mayor down here, right? And, so we don't have aldermen. I always heard it because I watched Good Times, but I did, I seen them, but I got the clarification of the alderman, what it is. So this here is a Chicago alderman, and she backs plea for Windy City's criminals to only shoot guns between hours of 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. to minimize risk of innocent people being shot. The back part of that sounds so great, but all right, before we get into it, just tell me your thoughts on it, man. So, yeah, go ahead. All right.
You know what? It reminds me of, and I'm sure my daughters that are watching, they watched this when they were young, back in the early 2000s. But the movie Head of State with Chris Rock. You remember in that movie, before they went behind closed doors and asked him to run, and that he was going to win, it was going to put everything, all the resources behind him. Guess what he started out as?
An alderman.
He was an alderman.
He was an alderman.
The alderman is pretty much like the voice of the people, like he's like a mayor,
right?
Like a small mayor,
right?
They are Barack Obama. Before that Iowa caucus, and he just happened to beat Hillary Clinton and shot up out of nowhere to start him. Guess what he was? He was an alderman. Alderman's job is to corral the people, be their voice, and get them behind whatever political.
I got a question. Question. Not to cut you off, but this just came to me. I've never been to Chicago, right, in my life, but I can almost guarantee. I told you I watched Good Times a lot, and there was the alderman that came on there that never could get Walona name right. He called it Wilhelmina and everything else. Right. He was black. I bet you 9 times out of 10, the majority of the aldermen are black.
Most of the time, they are. And
I'm gonna tell you why I brought that up. Go ahead.
And I'm gonna wrap this up. Like you said, I ain't gonna spend too much time on my soapbox. I'm gonna digress here in a second, but I just wanted to say that because the head of state, you've seen the movie Head of State with Chris Rock, alderman to the next president of the United States. And you've got Barack Obama. You had Michelle Obama, that was a voice. She was First Lady Michelle, and she was a voice for the people. So look how now this young lady, this alderman in the LGBTQ era, now her first experience or first time you've heard about her is trying to get these 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. like curfew type thing as far as firearms being used. So I think it, to me, and to preface them, it sounds good. It sounds so good. but I just don't see you getting the gangs in Chicago. I just don't see it in real time recording. Now in the art, like I said, the interview, it sounds good. She said that Chicago didn't get truly bad overnight, and that's true. It happened over time. So she said you got to start somewhere, and I understand that, and she's right. However, I just don't think it's gonna. I just it
But even if you got the gangs to cooperate, what kind of solution is that? See, this is what I'm stuck on.
Right.
Listen to what she's asking for. Cease shooting between 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. Is that the time? Yeah, no, 9 a.m. to 9 from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Cease shooting. So what that mean is at 9:01.
What you think gonna happen?
So even you see what I'm saying?
Right. And if we're thinking about that on this podcast, you don't think the guys with the red bandanas and blue bandanas and the black and the yellow, you don't think they
all?
You see what I'm saying? Come on,
right.
Come on,
what kind of salute? Now understand the alderman. Now I'm brand new to this thing, but it's just like not don't kill, but kill doing it. Exactly. That's exactly what we're saying. Thank you.
It don't make sense. That's not.
So the alderman is the voice of the people. Right. Fill up the jail is a solution. Now, not with this one, Safa. This here is to fill up the graveyards, brother.
Right.
Because and this the thing why I say that, Safa, because Chicago if I'm not mistaken, Chicago is still the murder capital of the nation. If they not too far behind. Chicago have unprecedented numbers of shootings nightly, not weekly, not monthly, but nightly. Chicago's up to have 50-some shootings a night, easy. Right. That's a good night, and we ain't hearing about no arrest. Now, I don't get Chicago news. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to start downloading Chicago news, especially after this. Sure, I'm going to download me a thing for Chicago news so I can keep up with it, right?
Absolutely.
But we don't hear no arrest. What you hear is the shootings and the murders that happen in Chicago all the time. Now, you giving these gangsters, when you talk like that, you are pretty much giving the gangsters permission. At nighttime,
to just
do what you do.
Do what you do.
So at 9:01 a.m., the coroner's coming through, picking up the carnage from what happened the night before.
Right, because a little kid, a parent can be washing dishes and cooking. You've seen your little child look at the burner.
Right.
Let the child go look at it and still be, go off playing.
Right.
The child don't really pay attention till you tell them what? Not to touch it.
Not exactly.
Now they like, oh.
Right.
So if I do touch it, it is bad.
Right.
They thought about it, but really didn't think about it. Now, what you think these? Oh, I can't. Oh, soon as. Oh.
Exactly. That's pretty much what you're saying. And thank you, Most High, for bringing it back to my remembrance what I was saying. The alderman is voted in, got to be voted in by the people of that particular district. Do you really believe that the people in that particular district was thinking of this for a solution? No, we want a solution. Why? Look, man, I asked this question several times on this podcast. Why is there a fifth ward? And when I'm saying this, I'm talking about the condition that they are in.
Right.
Why is there areas like parts of South Dallas? People from Dallas understand what I'm talking about. See? Why is there Comptons in this nation?
Right.
They gotta keep these neighborhoods in the condition that they're in, because if they give us more, they would not be able to continue to control us. This alderman is a Democrat.
Liberal.
This is a liberal. And we continue to vote for these same people. And so what do the Democrats tell the people in these type of neighborhoods year after year and every 4 years? That we're going to get tough on crime. We're going to stop the violence. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But it's not. Her solution is don't shoot during the daytime to save the kids. No, you got if you can go to Iraq and shut that joker down, if you can go to Kuwait and shut that joker down, if you can go to Iran and shut that joker down, why can't you shut down the violence on the south side of Chicago?
Right.
It's simply because you don't want to.
You don't want to. You don't want to. Exactly, Yame. That was one of the gems. They dropped it and they cloned Tyrone.
Exactly.
This is what, and I was watching a video today of a young rapper, young guy. I want to say it was Chicago or Miami, but he was talking about, and hopefully our young people are truly not just woke in these agendas, political agendas, and all this stuff going on, but they truly waking up to the Most High's calling. So he said, and I'm gonna find the video, I'm gonna shoot it to you. And this is prefacing all, I'm landbacking on what we're talking about. He said, we literally be in the club trying to chill with slide and drill music.
Mm-hmm.
He said, how is that? He said, think about that. We are literally trying to drink and just lounge and chill. And the type of music is talking about, I'm going to slide on him and I'm going to dump all my bullets. I'm going to do this. He said it's an oxymoron. So it's the same way. You're trying to tell people not to shoot during a certain time frame when all that goes on in that area is shooting. You got to come up with something else.
You got to come up with something else.
That's not
a solution.
No.
That's not that. And she should be ashamed of herself for even coming up with something like that. And instead of printing that in the newspaper, somebody should have went to her and say, young lady, I don't know if this job is over your head, but you might need to go back and reconvene with this. Now, the second thing of this, Cheryl, we know that they trying to go against Second Amendment right. Gun law. Look, people, I don't know if you know or not, but Chicago is a city that has some of the strictest gun laws in all of the nation.
Right.
So with that being said, somebody explain to me how you got so many guns in Chicago.
That's right. Who put them there?
Video I seen. Brother said, man, I'm sitting in the house. I hear on the door. It's a white guy. Go to the alley. He said he go to the alley. It's a crate of government issued guns.
Yep.
What? Just in the alley.
In the alley. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? These kids ain't going to no dadgum academy buying these guns.
Yep. Nope.
They buying them off the street. So whoever bringing them to the neighborhood to sell them in the street, who are they? Hey, I could be wrong with the CIA.
Yep.
I could be wrong with the FBI.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. And like you said, it's all about subtly. The serpent was the most subtle beast of the field, y'all. So subtly, remember a couple months back we talked about the two young black guys in Tennessee. What were their protests when they were censored and kicked out? Guns.
Right. They got right.
And guess what they started out before they got into the House or the Senate in Tennessee?
Aldermans.
They were aldermen. So do you see this trend, guys? You see how they say the politicians, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Lauren Boebert, Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, the big wigs. They say, look, we done had town hall after debate against Sleepy Joe, against Hillary, against Tim Scott, talking about gun laws. People don't want to hear us talk about that no more. They're tuning us out. Let's let the aldermen.
That's right.
Seem like they got a say in it.
That's right.
That young man, how did he get together? We did a show on it. How did he get together? 1,300 people marched down to the Tennessee town hall, and then they kick him out. Just like that.
Right.
It was just 1,200 people outside waiting on him when they kicked him out.
Right.
Where did that happen? So now you have this young Israelite or young black alderman in Chicago, when a new male black mayor has been put in after the female black mayor has been put out, like she said, you see this Democratic liberal game they play. This is the games they play, man.
It's the games that they play. And this is the thing, man. The penal system, which is, you know, the jail houses, is no different than the medical system in America, meaning that they don't want a solution. This whole country economy is funded off of the penitentiary and pharmaceuticals. So with this strange solution that she came up with, it's the same thing as when you go to the doctor, they don't give you a cure, they give you a pill for whatever problem that you got that's going to cause another problem, so you can come back and get another pill. See? The problem can be solved. The problem didn't even have to be to begin with. You could take white people and put them in the same neighborhoods as black people and treat them the same way that they've been treating us over the years. They gonna act the exact same way that we acting in them neighborhoods.
That's it.
The exact same way. When you deprive people of certain rights, when you deprive them of jobs, when you deprive them of humanity, what else did you expect?
What else do you expect? You can't get a job. That you won the 2 away from this 3 strike rule.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They act like nobody else does this but only us. But we have babies when we're young and not married yet. So you got responsibilities. And then you hear a knock on the door, you find a crate in your alley. What you think gonna happen?
What you think gonna happen? And the one last thing before we move on, and if you got something else to say after this, please go ahead. But the last thing about this is you could go to TikTok, you could go to YouTube Reels, you could just go to YouTube and find videos. You know what they glorify? They show you whole murders in Chicago on TikTok.
They show it all.
They will ban this show tonight because of something that I say about something that goes against their guideline. But you can get on TikTok tonight and see somebody roll up on somebody in the neighborhood and see the whole car get shot up.
Right.
And they'll have drill music in the background behind it. And what's sad about it is that the comments that goes with it.
Right. Oh, the comments that's what I'll tell you. That's what a war is in the comment section.
See,
that's what a war be, man.
So there is no, you know what I'm saying, no solving the problem, because in the eyes of the left and the right, there is no problem. But we're gonna make it seem like we got a problem with it.
Right. Absolutely.
To keep you in the web that you are in.
That's it, man. That's it. We talked about on the show before. On one hand, they say they got a solution, but on the next hand, they say we got a solution and we're going to protect you.
Right.
But on the other hand, they got a team of people behind closed doors
creating the problem,
creating the issue, creating the problem. So they
That's
feel
right.
like the heroes, and
That's
the whole
right.
time we online bickering and going
That's
against
right.
each other, not understanding. If we just stopped and took a deep breath and said, wait a minute, hold on.
Right.
We done seen this before.
Right.
Wasn't they doing this in so-and-so movie?
Right.
And the alderman came in and knocked on doors and see this is, so remember these names, and I'm gonna stop after.
No, you good,
bro. Democratic mayor. He's an Israelite, black dude. Brandon Johnson. He just took over. He was voted in when Mayor Lori Lightfoot, she got voted out. Now you got, her name is Maria Haddon. Remember these names, guys. Maria Haddon. She's a so-called black or Israelite young lady. And once again, these aldermen, what they do, their basic function is to go knock on these doors and start talking to people. What's the issue that's plaguing you? They go to these living rooms, and these grandmothers and these grandpas and these aunts and uncles, they tell them what they want to. So then they'll schedule a town hall. So once you get the people feeling like they got a voice, man, you tell them anything. Oh yeah, we're going to implement this 12-hour curfew. there's a certain movie out. It's The Purge. And we all know what happened when you try to implement stuff like this and you say, well, we try to implement it, we try to have a solution, and they already knew the outcome. But then they acting out, ain't nobody. So just for 12 hours, if you can survive the night, you survive. There's no crime. No police will be dispatched. Nothing will happen. Since y'all want to act the monkey. Since y'all want to act the fool. This is how these things are brought up, though. This is how it happens. It'll look like a solution, but it's really, they just luring you in. Look at that clone Tyrone.
Yeah, that's a movie to watch several times.
Yeah, man.
That's a movie to watch. I want to make a comment. You know how I am, man. Say, hey, that dadgum alderman job must be a hard job, and the mayor of Chicago must be a hard job. Cause I saw some young pictures of Lightfoot, and what Lightfoot looked like today, whoo,
nothing compared to what
she no foot. Say, I think Safari he'll be up to this. I say, she is no foot. I just got to throw that out there, man. And before we go to our music break, remember those names that he called out. All of them were Israelites. This is the first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So the device pleased them well. Then a certain people were so this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. That's exactly what these people be doing. They be wanting this power so much, and they get it, and they go right back to their own people, not understanding that they working for the heathen.
It said he gave them a license.
Gave them a license. Go ahead.
Do what you want. And they
go do what you.
We feel wanted. Once we're told that, we feel like we got power.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that'll give the people, they'll go to him and say, what do you think? Say, man, don't you know his mothers and grandmothers got kids out there that they praying for every night? And you telling them not to shoot during the daytime? No, I want you to do something to save my baby.
That's it.
I know what it's like to have a mama wondering about their baby.
Yep.
First hand.
That's it, Doc. That's what I'm saying, man.
That's the best that you can do. We don't need you speaking for us no more, Maria Hatton. I'm sorry. And Shania Bethahaya, I'm sorry. I agree with you when you said, Lord, that Lord life. I agree with what you said. Somebody helped her come up with that solution.
Yeah, it goes with what you just read. Somebody.
I agree with you.
100%.
100%. Let's get that music break.
Let's go, man. That life, that no foot, boy.
That's no foot.
It feel good to be broke. It feel good to be broke. It feel good to be broke. Look, nice balance. I'm back to preach the facts with this art I attack. Stabbing your back with the smack of my pen in this rap. My lyrics are gat. And knock off your cap. No cap, I'm somewhat cuckoo. I got a loose screws that cause me to act out from the normal human. Can't keep it cool, man. Seen too much struggle with our human. Black cause my human is the main target of mankind, the new man. The kind of man who lack no complexion to hate the true man. See, like black is like a secret weapon. I tell a copper what his use suggested. We keep it cordial or we shoot in slow-mo. I got some ox off the block, we no riding solo. We all got a pogo, that's a chopper, you should keep it stepping. They say, Eli, chill, you rapping different. I know you black conditioned to reposition all your people back to the right tradition. When homie come, just tell him that you like religion. I know it's fake, but be safe and say you Christian. Nah, never that. It feel good to be a broke. 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 got a message from my Abba who sit high on the throne. He said, Messiah, come to slaughter all the fathers of Rome. Take your empire, we go higher with the higher we own. Another level, my dude. I'm here to give you this food for thought. You pose in your room, you think you killed all the bros. The real Jews, how you Jew is like kinda a brew. Okay, you kinda a Jew, I think you kinda confused. Well, I caught you in the lie, my dude. I see you hide my truth and made me tie your shoes. Walk through plantations, pick cotton and plant the food. The Nat Turners must be really scary to you. A black king rising through the violence, and that is a slaughtering bruise. Can you unite the same fire you drew? Hey yo, do you know my Abba is that fire? He named me King Goliath from Messiah. I'm inspired to bring that vengeance to you. It's true. It feel good to be a brute. 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 It feel good to be a brute.
Yasharel, we the chosen of the Most High. Walking in the boldness, we boasting, let me explain why. From Portugal, just a nigga on them slave ships. Shipped to great America, gator babies and shaved pics. The motherland, you haven't heard, it's Jerusalem. Stripped from my heritage, culture strangers be using them. Talents in them giftings like super ciphers, they losing them. The laws of the Most High, pickpocket abusing them. Africa, yeah, you know that be the continent. Stepping on that soil real soon, that make me confident. Dragon Balls, capital Z, Zion is competent. Mashiach is coming with war, and yes, it's time for it. Great awakening, we the Jews, yes, it's happening. Walking out a multitude, cleaving to us and grafted in. It feels good to know the truth, and I'ma say it as I walk. It feels good to be a brute,
It feel good to be a brute. 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 It feel good to be a brute.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I tell you, when I first found out I was a brute, boy, I'm still walking like it, but it was nothing like it, boy. Hey, look here, man.
I'm telling you.
Look here, man. Ruwak had to teach me to bring some of that arrogance down. I'm like, say, man, I'm a gem. I'm part of the crown of the Most High. I'm chosen. Hey, man, it was. Hey, look here. It feels good to be a brute. Con. Big con.
I got that TikTok talk.
Let's get it, brother.
Go.
I've never let my husband tell me what to do. I'm not his child. And these same women, they'll go to work. Their boss says, hey, I need you to turn this in by 5 p.m. They say, yes, sir. The HR manager says, hey, I need you to stop saying this to your employees. They say, okay. The trash man says, I need you to put your trash cans beside the road on Wednesday mornings. They say, okay, and they do it. The speed limit sign says, don't go past 65. Guess what? They don't go past 65. The nurse says, hey, you have this condition. I need you to take this medicine. They say, okay. Your single friend will say, girl, you don't need to do this for your husband. You need to tell him this, this, and this. And they say, I can trust you. You're the expert. Literally, everybody else in the world will tell them, jump. And they say, how high? And they do it. But when your husband, who has a covenant with God to protect and provide for you, tells you, hey, I don't think you should do this. Yes, you should do this. No, you should not do this. It's a problem and you're oppressed.
Wow. This is a doozy.
It's a doozy.
Yeah, you got it.
So I picked that, man, because there has been a war that has been waged upon the black man and the black woman. I remember we was talking in the Beyond Critical Race Theory. I made the comment that what happens with time is that the old generation die off, and when the old generation die off, that gives room for a relearning, or we could use a reset, and that's what happened. Think about grandma and how grandma was raised by great grandma.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot make me believe that grandma and granddaddy never had problems, but nobody never knew it because of the respect that grandma gave granddaddy. You see?
Right.
Because that's how she was raised by great grandmama, her mama. You respect that man. See? But what happened was that older generation started dying out, and girls started having babies at a younger age. So now you start having babies.
Yep.
And then on top of that, they start retraining the way both the men and the women think.
Come on, man.
They start retraining it. So now you got a whole group of women out here, right? And I'm not bashing women. Please don't take this the wrong way, okay? This is not a woman bashing. This here is about order. Because if you think this will go, baby, wait till you get to the buy sale tonight. I got another doozy, right? This is about order, though. When the Most High created this thing and made this order, he made man first.
Come on.
Then he made woman.
Right.
And then when you go through the law, it says obey. It don't say obey mother and father. It says obey father and mother. That's not by accident.
Right. That's the order.
That's order. You got the father, then you got the son, and then you got the Ruach Kadash. That's order. Me and Safa was talking about it today. When you read this here, this is almost broke up in threes. The Bible is what I'm talking about. The first part of the Bible is the law, the Torah. That's the father. Then you got the son. Then we are in the era of the Ruach right now. That's putting everything together.
Come on, man. That's good. Wow.
That's putting it together.
That's powerful.
So what this lady here said is absolutely right.
Absolutely.
They have been taught to not listen to the man, but listen to everybody else.
Yep. Man, that's powerful. Wow.
Go ahead, Doc.
Man, that was a great take, and I agree with you. I agree with the young lady. She said something profound. And what you just said, even more profound to the point off of her point. She said the covenant with the Most High. That's what's been forgotten.
That's
what's been forgotten. The covenant. That's what has been forgotten. You said it, and you've been saying it as a theme. You know, look at the title of the show. You know, the title of the show. Biblical proportions.
Right.
You know, this word is coming out tonight, biblical proportions, as it does every podcast. But tonight, every show, but tonight it's just hitting different.
Right.
Because check this out. We talk about the beast was the serpent was the most subtle beast of the field, right?
Right.
You talk about grandmas and grandpas, the way they were taught. And then all of a sudden you got government assistance and all that slide in, takes away. It gets into the mind of the women and takes away the father. Now check this out. This week, I said, where have I seen that before? And I was just about to tell you, I was like, get out of my head or get out of me. You over here looking at what I'm researching. But Genesis 3 comes to mind. Genesis 3:8. And it says, and they heard the voice of the Most High walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High amongst the trees of the garden. Check this out. Here it is. And Yahuwah, the Most High, called unto Adam and said, where art thou? And he said, I heard the voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. The Most High asked, Adam, where are you?
Right.
He knew where he was physically, but he's saying, you not where I left you spiritually.
Come on now.
When I left you to come back, I knew I'm supposed to be coming back in the cool of the day because I left you in what? Dominion. Naming the animal. I left you in dominion.
That's right.
And the serpent subtly moved in, talked to the wife, and she got to thinking like, yeah, you know what? Let me go eat this fruit, Adam. But you see, nothing happened till Adam bit the fruit.
That's right.
He fell out of dominion.
That's right.
So it's the same, like you just said. It was the Torah, Then, you know, the Mashiach, now the Ruach, the Comforter is with us, and we're playing this. We're bringing this thing together. And what's happening?
That's right.
Just as it did, that I just read, the Father, the husband, the protector, the covenant with the Most High has been removed. And now look at Satan. Hostile tongue can run him up.
That's right.
And he eats flesh. He devours.
That's right.
That's right. He was a serpent. He started out as a serpent in Genesis. He's eating so much flesh and devoured so much flesh, y'all. In Revelation, he a full-grown dragon.
That's right. That is absolutely right. I was just telling a youngster today that they, meaning they that run the construct, they're scared of us.
There you go.
And when I say us, I mean the black man. They not scared of no Asian man. No. They're not scared of no white man. They're not scared of you. They're not scared of no Indian man. They're scared of us. This is why when you watch they clone Tyrone, what did it tell the prostitute?
Ooh. Wow.
You coming a dime and a dozen.
Wow.
And see, this kind of talk here would make 21st century women infuriated.
Oh man, bro. They'll be roasting us in the comments so bad right now.
Why? Because they lost their way of the law. The covenant.
That's it, that covenant. Come on,
the covenant.
That's a whole shit.
If you don't want a covering, which is a strong husband that follows the Most High, why do you even want to get married? What's the point of getting married? If you don't want a covering, see?
Right.
Somebody who is going to lead you to the kingdom. And you can follow him because you know he's being led. Sarah never argued with her.
Never argued with Abba. Never.
She didn't understand everything. This is we finna go. Okay, we finna go.
We finna go. Let's ride. Sarah,
because she understood.
Right. She understood.
That this brother's being led by the Most High himself. Yeah. Right? She understood. So that's the TikTok talk, man. So
that's powerful. Good gracious. Great TikTok.
Yeah, man. And I also wanted to use that one also to show with all of the thoughting that's going on in this world right now and all of the male bashing that there are women that is in this world. They got a level head on them.
Yes. I seen it real quick. I seen a video today, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen it. It's going viral. Glorilla, the rapper out of Memphis, telling women to make sure in their 20s to make sure they're toxic. She said, ladies, live out your toxicity in your 20s. You know how many
you know what the reciprocal of that is?
Oh my
and we was taught wrong as well. When we was taught as boys, make sure you sow your seeds.
That's it.
We was taught wrong. That's why it's so normal for us. We can stay here forever, but that's why it's so normal for a group of dudes to get together and talk about women in the way that we talk about women. There's a real such thing as locker room talk.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a real thing on that. And we comfortable with that because that's how we was raised. Now look at what they done ran amok on us. Now they running amok on our women. We got to get back to the covenant, man. We got to get back to the covenant of how the Most High created this thing from the beginning. I told you, if y'all don't go nowhere, because this buy sale gonna be ooh-wee. This buy sale is a ooh-wee tonight. Yeah, this going to get to that next music break, bro.
My daddy is a Hebrew.
Be the man I am. Father, I need you.
Vanguard Track Killers.
Hey, give me your ruach, yeah. Give me your ruach, yeah. Give me, yeah. Oh, yeah. Show me your holy light. Give me your ruach. I need it in my life. Nothing more, searching for your love, sweet kisses and hugs in your spirit. Cover me, I need you, please. Don't take it away from me. Forgive me for my wrongdoing. I've always let you down. Now it's time to make you proud and make the devil mad for everything I've done. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me your ruach, ruach, yeah, yeah. I need it now. Oh, yeah, yeah. Give me your ruach, ruach, yeah. I need it now. I need it. Give me your ruach, ruach, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I need it now. Give me your ruach, ruach, yeah. Give me your ruach, ruach, yeah, yeah.
Man, I could sit and listen to RDL all day, bro.
I came across that brother from Apple Music. I told you, man, I got that newest vision just to change my life.
Yeah, that was my man RDL and Nava with Ruach. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. So it's not gonna make it on this album. It's not gonna make it on Wonderland. But me and Mr. RDL and Nava might have something cooking up for us.
I can't wait for that one, bro.
Yeah,
can't wait for that one. I know that one's gonna be hot.
Yeah, we've been back and messaging back and forth, man. So man, RDL is.
We're gonna have to get that brother on the show as well, man.
Yeah, he is one of the most gifted, talented brothers in all Yasharal. And I told you he remind me of Big Bub from back in the day.
Right,
You know, we singers, so-called crooners, you don't see a lot of us, that new age singing rap. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but the crooners, we coming back.
Right.
And Otis Redding, we coming back, y'all.
And see, and that's me right there. Like I grew up on hip hop. I used to rap a little bit my own self, right? But when it come down to the nuts and bolts of things, you can ask my wife, my kids, say, I'm that cat. I would go in the room, turn off all the lights, and put some music on, and I'm good. And when I say music, I mean music, like you say. You know what I'm saying? So I'm music, and I'm good, and I'm in my own little world, man. And so there's nothing like a good crooner, as you called it. You know what I'm saying? Say, man, it just just get everything right up here. You know what I'm saying? And with you saying that, I wanted to make a comment too. Something that we don't understand, that the biggest book in all of the Bible is the book of Psalms. Psalms ain't nothing but songs. This goes to show you the power of music. And one of the things, I still listen to R&B, and I listen mostly to old school R&B, right? But I'm starting to train myself to start listening to more of the Most High's music, because there's a true saying is that you are what you ingest, and ingesting don't just mean eating. Right. You ingest by seeing, you ingest by smelling, you ingest by hearing. And listen to the lyrics of that song. He said, give me your ruach, ruach. That's praise right there. So think about if you in a bad spirit and that comes on, what that's going to...
Bro, I was sitting over here, not even 5. I was just in the ruach.
You see?
Like the anointing is in his voice to the point to the first syllable of the song. You don't have no choice, like you said. You don't have no choice but to get in that mode and just start thinking about the ruach.
I don't think that there is anything wrong with listening to R&B. I'm that cat, right? You know?
Right.
Nothing wrong, boy. I put me on some Teddy P in a heartbeat, some Isley Brothers in a heartbeat, some Al Green in a heartbeat. This is me. You know what I'm saying? Love Train. That's my song. You dig what I'm saying? Say. But hey, we gotta understand that you got here and you got here. And that's what the Most High say. He say, my thoughts and my ways are not your thoughts and your ways. He said, for mines are higher. I'm paraphrasing this.
Right.
So sometimes we gotta move from here to here. And the only way to do that is to ingest that will take you up there. So,
come on, man. Wow. Yeah.
All praises for that, man. California, my brother, has been going through some trauma.
Boy.
I am on point, right? Yep, topic. Okay, then. I got to look over there. California been going through some trauma.
Yes.
First, it was Hawaii.
Yes.
They got some issues coming up out of there too. They saying that people don't want to talk. You know what I'm saying? Like just what we talked about last week, that the government is slow footing and it's starting to come out. Yeah. But now it's California, man.
Oh man.
They haven't had a tropical storm or a hurricane or whatever it is that you want to call it. And I've gotten 2 different dates, but I'm going to use this date because this was the first one that I seen since 1939. That's been like 80-something years,
84 years to be exact.
84 years, man. So, and this is where the title of the show come from, Biblical Proportions. They had the hurricane, tropical storm, and at the same day, they got hit with an earthquake as well.
Yep.
They got hit with an earthquake as well. You ever heard that term on site?
On site.
That's what the Most High is telling the world right now.
Push your head down to the white meat on site.
On site. And it would do everybody who is alive and witnessing what we are seeing to believe him when he say on site.
On site.
See, he haven't stood up yet. We talk about this all the time. He's still sitting in his throne, but his feet is tapping right now. When Daddy get mad, his feet start tapping. And he got you looking for something. It's a lot of us understand this. He got you looking, and he know where it's at. And it might not be there no more, but in his mind it's there because he said it is, and he'll tell you those words, don't make me get up.
Don't make me get up.
His feet start tapping before he get up. The Most High's feet is tapping on the firmament right now, and he's putting the world, understand me, on notice. He's putting the world on notice because the same time that the hurricane hit and the earthquake hit, this is also wildfires going on over there.
That's crazy.
Biblical proportions.
Biblical proportions. Man, crazy. It's crazy. Ever see a 1-2 punch? National Guard had to be called out. Had a tropical storm, Hillary. That released record torrential rains that caused flooding across Southern California. An earthquake struck, and then you got the wildfire. So, yeah, and these are the beginning of birth pains. This is just like you said. He's tapping his foot. And he said, "Don't make me get up." I got some of y'all, talking about Sugar Land. Y'all letting it come out about my people. That's good. But majority of y'all, you still don't want to do right. And that foot get to tapping, like you said, he said, don't make me get up.
Don't make me get up.
He said, I won't hold my tongue. I'm not going to hold my tongue forever.
Right.
I'm going to just speak. And whatever he speaks, it's going to happen.
So we know we in the middle of a great reset. We've been talking about this so much since 2021 is when they really start pulling the trigger on it. And Their plagues is just like the Most High plagues, and what I mean by that is that once they got going, it wasn't no stopping them. They are dead set on doing whatever it is that they trying to do right now. Dead set on it. Yep. I'm not coming on here talking about, although I do believe it, let me put that out in the air. I do believe it, but this is not the story that the storm that went through California is man-made. That's not the story. Story is not, you know what I'm saying, of what it is that they trying to do. The story is that these things are happening. Whether it was man-made or not, they got flooded. And they got hit by a hurricane. Hawaii got burnt down. And this destruction has just started. There's going to be more destructions. The 7th month, which is the month of tabernacles, if you go back in history, you will see that the month of tabernacles in America is a doozy. Now, if stuff continue to go in the way that it's going right now, it ain't no telling what's. And I'm not wishing this on nothing, but this is one of those where you hear it. We need to prepare ourselves. We need to prepare, especially a lot of us, and I'm one that's living on the coastal areas. I've never, in all of my 50 years of living, never seen so many hurricanes in the Pacific. West of California.
Right.
I've never, since hurricane season started, I know that I have counted at least 5 over there.
Wow.
At least 5. Now that gives them another reason, Ayob, to say global warming, because the reason why we never seen hurricanes over there is because they say the waters on that side are cooler.
Right.
So the waters now are warmer, which is producing these storms, right?
Yep.
But if the people remember, not long ago, we told you how they making it warmer. With those aerosols that they shooting up there. They sending hot air one way and they sending cold air the other way.
Yep.
So I don't care how you come to it. 2 + 2 is 4.
That's right. 1 + 3 is 4.
1 + 3 is 4. It don't matter how you come to it. You still gonna get to 4.
Right. That's right. That's right.
So part of this reset, and Ayob, you just sent me that text the other day. What was that quote that you just sent me?
Henry Kissinger, which was Henry Kissinger back in the day.
What did he say?
On Ronald Reagan's panel and a lot of the liberals. He was in the White House period, working on both sides. Let me see if I can find it. He said a quote back in the day, and he said, "A strong America is the only thing standing in the way of a new world order."
Read that one more again.
Now, y'all listen. I didn't say that. That was from Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger. Look it up. Henry Kissinger. A strong America is the only thing standing in the way of a new world order. Henry Kissinger. That's what he said.
Now, you could go back and look at some of our episodes, and I promise you going to hear Sha'ir Yashub say something like, America got too much stuff is the reason why they can't pull the plug right now.
That's it.
So what I mean by that is that these disasters that's happening, whether they natural or not, is working in their favor because they need to take away from the American people.
Right.
You see what the man just said, a strong America. Every storm weakens America.
Yep. Billions of dollars in damages. I mean,
billions of dollars in damages.
Devastating areas, whole areas that just you would never think that could be wiped out, just gone.
It got to be rebuilt. So the only way to get it rebuilt, the government got to do what? Go borrow more money. Guess what? That's destruction too.
Right.
that's destruction too. Which means that it's going to get to a point you can bend it for so long and you think that it's unbreakable. But I promise you, at some point, guess what the stick is going to do? It's going to break.
Right.
It's going to snap.
That's it.
One of these days, a storm going to come through the south.
Oh, man.
They not going to be able to rebuild.
You're right. Because that's what the word says. It says that the Most High, every time you tear down, we're going to rebuild. But once again, like you just said, it's going to come a point to where they're not going to be able to.
Not going to be able to rebuild. Listen to what the Most High said in the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16. This is 2 Ezra, chapter 16. He says that verse 11. Is it 11?
Is it 19?
No, 19. You are exactly right. He says, behold, famine and plagues, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Amendment means a change. So, Hurricane Hillary, the 5.1 earthquake, Hawaii getting burnt down, the flooding that's happening in the Northeast up there, all of this the Most High is giving for a change. They doing it for an amendment as well. Remember, both sides of the chessboard. Remember, you got the white side and the black side. They trying to do the exact same thing with two different agendas. They want to change and the Most High want to change as well. The Most High wants you to change and come back to Him. Let's get back to the ancient path. They want to change because they want to control you all together, right? But this is where it got good at in this verse. It said, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. That's what got me.
That's it.
They will not turn from their wickedness. I told you, He telling you on sight. He putting you on notice. Every hurricane, every earthquake, every mass fire, all of this stuff, He's giving you a chance for what? To turn back to the ancient ways, to get back to the covenant, to pray for the Ruach, whom He gives to all men liberally, and He upbraideth not. But instead, you thinking to yourself, how can I rebuild? Of course you want to rebuild, but you're not seeing the bigger picture, which is, I'm about to stand up.
I'm about to stand up. I'm about to stand up. All praises for that.
I'm about to stand up.
Wow.
He said, nor be always mindful of the scourges. We not scared of this, man. And when I say scared, I don't mean scared like in a sense of being fearful. I mean scared in a sense of respect of the Most High. He's allowing these things to happen. Read Revelation chapter 18. Why you think the merchants gonna stop doing business with this place, with Babylon? Because it ain't gonna be worth doing business with, because it's gonna be too toe up. New York sinking. Like for real.
Like for real. It's sinking.
This place done got hit with a flood and an earthquake and sitting on top of natural fires at the same time. And I think right now it's about 4 or 5 different what they call waves, which potentially turn into hurricanes that's out in the Caribbean right now.
Wow. Man. It's just the power and the destruction that, Mashiach said, I come not to bring peace. And back in the church, and we just kept saying, oh, he's all love. And like He not coming to judge. He said, I come to bring the sword, man. I come to separate. Y'all gonna know who's mine.
Right. Speak.
And that separation It's been going on for a little bit, and it's just getting deeper to the point now you can truly start to see. And we, me and my family talk about it all the time. We pray, that Abba allow us, the courage, the vigilance, the strength, the vigor, the humility, all the way. Allow us to be well rounded, so that we can have discernment to see things as they truly are and not what they appear to be.
Right.
You can't be
That's
deceived on what
That's
they,
right.
like you said, there's both sides. One side is trying to make it look like they're all in control, and the Most High is just like, man, I don't know who y'all think y'all are.
Right.
I got the last say, so I ain't even got started. Y'all over here
Con.
sweating, playing to the fullest. Like I'm just tapping my toe. There will
Facts.
come a time when he speaks and he get up.
And the thing that we got to remember, Ayo, is that all of this is being done for the salvation of his children.
For the salvation of his children.
All of this is being done. I mean, there is an analogy that I use all the time with my kids, is that if somebody kidnapped my kids, they not going to give them back to me peacefully.
No.
They not going to give them back to me peacefully. They knowing I'm coming. They ain't going to just hand them back. Oh, you done made it, so here you go. Ha, ha, ha. It was a joke. Nah. I got to go take my kids. And that's what the Most High is doing.
Right. That's why he said, those that offend my little ones. Who you think he was talking about?
Exactly. And he also said he bringing woe down on everybody that fought against Jerusalem. That's us.
Woe is a term for war.
Exactly.
He's
bringing war.
War, y'all.
We are in captivity. Our Abba know we in captivity. And our Abba is saying, look, the land is mourning for y'all because she missed y'all. I got to get y'all back. The land is saying, Abba, when you going to go get my children?
Right.
When you going to go get my children?
Right.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. And
every hurricane, I'm working on it.
My foot tapping. I don't want to get
I gotta give them all time. I gotta let the wheat and the tares grow together.
Right.
So when I do go get them,
right,
I can gather all the wheat.
It comes to a fool. Once it comes to a fool.
See?
Come on, man.
That's what's happening right now. And every day we should be evaluating ourselves. Am I a wheat or am I a tare? Don't be scared to ask yourself that question.
Right. Self-evaluation. Am I a wheat or am I a tare?
Because if you don't come up with an answer today, when Abba stand up, he gonna let you know what you are.
Wow.
And I can promise you, don't want him to let you know if you on the wrong side of that thing.
Right. Don't be on the wrong side. Man, don't be on the wrong side.
Don't be on the wrong side.
Pharaoh Ramses thought he was the man. Said, man, we could duplicate all these plagues, the frogs, the blood. We got that. Not that last one, though.
You ain't got it.
Not that last boy. I can imagine the word talking about that cry in the flame that night. Man, I can, the wailing.
Can you imagine, man? And it wasn't only just the firstborn of the people. It was the firstborn of everything, even a beast.
And the beast, Doc. So from the mothers in the highest court of the castle and the palace, all the way through servants, all the way down to the cows and the everything. The mothers and the fathers were wailing. Could you imagine that piercing of that? So he ain't had no choice but to be like, man, go. And so it's gonna be the same thing.
It's gonna be the same thing. It's somewhere in Jeremiah. I don't know exactly where it's at, but I'm paraphrasing it where the Most High say that what I'm gonna do on this second Exodus for my children is gonna make you forget
about the first. Come on, man. Like you just said, he ain't gonna come back and say, hey, kidnapper, I need my children back. He's gonna be like, y'all got about 15 seconds.
Come to take us.
I don't want your recompense. I asked for it. You didn't want the reparation, so no, your money can't be. It's too late for that.
Facts.
About 15 seconds to let my children go.
So for all of us right now, all what we need to be doing is saying, hey, y'all need to be worried about my daddy. You worrying about the wrong thing. You having our women fighting against us and locking us up and keeping jobs from us and don't want to give us our reparations. That's cool, but I tell you what, when my daddy get here, in the words of Didi on What's Happening, ooh, you in trouble.
Oh boy. Oh man.
You in trouble. You got any last comments on that, bro?
No, man. It's just biblical proportions, man. It's in Cali, floods, 84 years since a hurricane, same time an earthquake,
right?
Same time you got fires in Lahaina and Maui, which was paradise, blue crystal clear water. Now that water is gray and murky than a mud.
It is.
You got just signs and wonders just all across the earth. Things happening in the earth so rapid right now. That's it. I know we got to get to the buy or sale.
Yeah. Let's get to the buy or sale. Did I put a closing song in? I don't know if I did or not. No, I don't think okay, then. So we're about to wrap it up. Want to thank everybody for staying here with us. We at 266 subs right now. We are working to get to 500 before year end. So please help us get to that 500. You know, in the words of Pastor Poke Chop, go tell your family about the show. Go, let's have us a family night one night.
There you go. Family day. You know, every second Sunday was family day.
Right.
And chicken and fried okra.
Exactly.
I like family day.
Right. Let's have us a family night. But yes, indeed. So we want to thank everybody for staying with us. Let's get to this buy sale and this.
A happy man is God's plan. And don't get me wrong, of course God wants his daughters to be happy too. But we were created to be their helpmeet. Bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh. There's no woman without men. Our desire is to be onto them to make sure that they're happy. Because as the head of our house, when he's good, we all good. And when he's not, best believe the whole house is going to feel that too. So get that happy wife, happy life mantra out your head, because a happy man is definitely God's plan.
I buy it.
Facts.
Yeah, I buy it.
Facts.
Y'all, audience, give us a 1 if you buy in the chat.
Please do.
Give us a 2 if you sell. Yeah,
please do.
Day. That's right. But I'll have your Friends and Family Day. That's what it's called.
Friends and Family Day. Yeah, I tell you, I'd be all off track if it weren't for that woman.
Bro, I'm thankful for Shaka Boom. Thankful for my wife.
Be all off track.
I'm telling you. But yeah, I buy that though. I buy it. Just look.
I want to read something out the Bible because in this one of them, don't be mad at me because I ain't say it. Check it out. It says, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, starting at verse 9. Well, I'm going to start at 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. And verse 9 said, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman have a woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man. The Most High, for the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of the Most High. Reason why I wanted to give that one for a buy, sell, and I buy it as well. Check this out. I've said many times, and here recently, happy wife, happy life. And that's facts though. Don't, not taking nothing from that.
Right.
But we've been conditioned into thinking that that's order. See, look, this is the thing, man. Know your place. Exactly. This is the thing. Ain't nothing good going to happen to any of us until we get back to correct order.
That's it. That's it.
Until we get back to correct order.
And that's what Abba is waiting on. I'm telling you, I know we talk about the Montgomery thing, and there was another incident where we came together last week, coming together for the brother in Walmart that they said he was stealing, and some brothers and sisters stepped in and took care of him, got the security and police off of him. So it's starting to truly happen.
Right.
But like you said, it's the order. Once we get our house back in order and the calamity start happening, we're gonna be like, all right, son, let's roll. Go get my
right.
Let's roll. Time to go get them. So we almost there, y'all. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. But like what he just read, it's that order that we got to get back right. Both spouse, both like. Right, elder, happy spouse, happy house. It's not about just one person. And
one or the other, exactly.
Right. Like you said, happy wife, happy life. Like, okay, that's right.
Right.
But what comes first? Like,
right.
The Most High got to be pleased with us both first.
Exactly.
If one of us out of order, then if we one flesh, guess what? The Most High, He not pleased with either one of us.
Man. And that's what he said. He said, for this cause, man shall leave his father and the mother and shall cleave to his wife. Cleave to his wife. In other words, so I done been in where my back was hurt. The rest of my body ain't sick, but my whole rest of my body felt that.
Right.
We was all down.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's how we need to look at these relationships. We got to get selfishness out of this thing. And this is the beautiful thing about marriage. This is why the Most High ordained marriage here on earth to begin with, to work with this selfishness that is in us. Hey, in order for a house to work, it can't be no selfishness.
Right. It's got to be that righteous balance.
It got to be that righteous balance. And as a man, and I'm speaking of myself, as a man here on earth, I put my family above myself.
That's right. Absolutely.
Which means I'm going to go without to make sure that they have.
That's right. That's right.
See?
Come on now. Bring it out.
And so, and this is the order that the Most High made this thing. This is how we supposed to be functioning. And I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna go ahead and go. I saw this question somewhere. I think my wife brought it to me. I don't know who it is, but to the mothers, and this is something that a lot of mothers and stuff struggle with. But again, it's order. Do you feed your children before you feed your husband? See?
Come on, man. Come on out. Come on.
A lot of women have problems with stuff like this. Are you?
Yeah. And once again, the reason is because once again that order, you got an influential rapper, female, telling women to live through their 20s and 30s, live out your toxicity.
Exactly.
God. And no husband. That's like the sister was saying in the TikTok. No husband that's in covenant with the Most High and gonna be your provider, protector. He's not gonna put up with that toxicity, y'all. Just like you wouldn't put up with that from him.
Exactly.
We just had an incident in the news with the rapper Gunplay. His wife asked him to turn down a Call of Duty. He pulled out the gat on the child, his own child and his wife.
See
how once again it ain't just her or the women, it's we out of order.
Out of order all the way around. All the way around. Man, I look at these youngsters. I'm talking about brothers now. These brothers don't know what it is to be a man. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? They have no idea. Then you got these women, these girls, these females. They have no idea what it means to be a woman. And that's because as the older generation died out, there was a reset on us. Right. And this is where we are right now.
Right. That's what you said that earlier. One side, the grandparents, and that's all that happened in when we 1619. when we came over here. They said, look, let's just split the families up. And then we're just going to start taking the parents and the grandparents out one by one. So now all you have is 14, 15, all the way down. And we could just teach them. Let's just give them this Christianity. Let's teach them this Bible, what we know. And then when they get older and have kids, it's got a toxic nation.
It's a toxic nation. That's why if the Most High don't get back sometime soon, same-sex households is gonna be normal to this generation. That's on the deck right now. This generation that's on the deck right now, it's gonna be normal for them to see a man and a man raising a kid, or a woman and a woman raising a kid. Why? Because they putting a reset right before our eyes, and ain't nobody bucking back against it. Ain't nobody bucking back against it. If you live in a house with a man and a woman, you gonna be, you
weird.
You weird.
You weird. They call you weird. Oh, that's weird. What you got about?
Right. You got a mama and a daddy, like a for real mama and a daddy.
Right, like a for real. Right. And yes, now Charlotte High. Yes. Once again, the Festiva commercials. You got the two black dudes, two Israelite dudes walking on the beach holding hands.
Right.
That's all you see. That's all you see.
That's all you see. Hey, this has been great. Can't wait to get it again next week. Who we got at the end of the month?
Yes. So next week is so we're going back to the two nighters at the end of the month, right? We got the Truth Be Told Flex podcast extra. Then on the next night, so we got the regular show with our special guest. So next week we're getting back to our two-dayers with the Shanaim, beautiful couple out of Texas. They're going to be joining us. They're going to be sitting down with me, chopping it up on that Tuesday for about an hour or so, getting to know them. And then that next night on Wednesday, they're going to be on the regular show for our Throw Around Wednesday. So
that's next week.
That's next week. That's
29th and the 30th.
29th and the 30th. So yeah, spread the word, lock it in. We'll have them on the show on that Tuesday, get to know a little bit about get into the music and their story and how the Most High has been good with them. Then they'll join us on that Wednesday on the regular show, get to talk about these current events. So we're looking forward to that, man. I'm excited. We got a lot of great stuff coming up. Shouts to, I just seen a subscriber. We just gained another subscriber, and Bay Area Zoe Studios. Thank you for, I don't know who that is, but thank you for a new subscriber. Thank you for stopping by, showing the podcast some love. Thank y'all so much, man. So we're looking forward to the next coming months, the Most High willing, what He has in store for our families and for the podcast.
On the 5th of September.
5th of September, we got Monologue Magad going to come over and talk about that. Let the OG talk and his final album. What an illustrious career he's had. Billboard charting group in the Christian rap, Gideon's Army, now coming to the truth. Just recently had a successful F3 Friends Family Fest event and launching Let the OG Talk and launching 3MG Wayne Miller Music group. So yeah, man, we're gonna have him on September the 5th. Then after that, I think it's Solemn Prophet.
I think so. I was just talking to him today, I believe it was, and we both was trying to figure out when he's supposed to come on. So
I think it's October. Then November is Lahat.
Right.
Right. We have to look at the schedule, but yeah, we got a lot of great ministers of music and artists coming up. So yeah, man. The road to 500 subscribers, we're excited, man. The Most High is grand, and
exactly, and only y'all can help us get there. So please, let's get this thing going. Because next year we got Ayob and myself. We got a lot of great plans for the show. Coming next year, it's gonna have a new look. It's gonna have we got some plans in the making for the Truth Be Told Flex podcast and everybody that's gonna be riding with us. So let's get it. So let's get it. So with that being said, we want to say shalom to everybody and thank y'all for being here with us. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Shalom, y'all.
Shalom.